Welcome to the Cowboys LA Radio. I'm your host, Eric Trujillo. I'm going to be getting you ready today for the Sunday matchup versus the Chicago Bears. The game is at 5:30 Pacific time. It's a Sunday night game. It's going to be the first time we're going to be on primetime television. Today's podcast, we're going to be talking about Carson Wentz versus Dak Prescott, the Chicago offense and the Chicago defense, things that we should be looking at to get you set up for this week's game. First, I'm going to start off with Carson Wentz versus Dak Prescott. The media seems to already be in love with Wentz and proclaim him a automatic Hall of Famer. And as a Cowboy fan, it does bother me. So there's a couple of things I have to point out. Wentz on the year has 468 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, one of which was a screen, 0 interceptions, a 94.1 passer rating. Longest pass was 35 yards. He's 43 for 71 and has 60% completion percentage. Dak, on the other hand, has 519 yards. He has 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 83.1 passer rating. His longest is 20 yards. Longest pass is 20 yards. He's 47 for 75 with a 62% completion ratio and a rushing touchdown. So, Dak doesn't get the love that Wentz is getting, and that's just how it is. I think the last couple of years it's been a hate the Cowboys media as much as we have probably the most fans across, I would say, the globe. There's definitely so much hate to go around. So it's a little bit sickening at this point that they're proclaiming him a stud off of 2 games. But I'm happy that Dak Prescott is pretty much outplaying him at this point. I'll give Wentz this. He is poised and he has a good arm. He definitely does. But there's still a lot to be seen. So at this point, give me Dak and give me Zeke over just Carson Wentz and giving up a possible top pick next year to get him, even though they got a first round back for trading away Sam Bradford. But give me Zeke and give me Dak all day. And yeah, just something I had to get off my chest. Let's go ahead and get into this Chicago Bears defense. Please do not sleep on it. Do not think that because the score last night or Monday night was 29-14 and they lost to the Eagles, that this is going to be an easy game. 2 major injuries, actually 3 if you really want to go into Goldman. They lost Trevathan. There's a chance he might play. I'm thinking, it's a hand, so can he tape it up? Can he keep playing? And then for sure they're going to be losing Lamar Houston for the rest of the season. That's a big blow. And even with that, this defense still has what it takes to stop us if they play a good game. So let's go ahead and get into some of the people you need to look out for. I'm going to give you some numbers and then some names so you can identify them as you watch the game. 97 is Young. 96 is Hicks. 50 is a linebacker Freeman. And 94, Leonard Floyd, the rookie. These 4 guys here alone are very good football players. 96, which is Hicks, you'll see him at the D tackle, one of the D tackle spots inside of the 3-4 because they do run a Vic Fangio 3-4. Vic Fangio is the old 49ers coach, so back when they had that Super Bowl winning defense, he's great. He's a good coordinator, and I think he can get these guys to play for pretty good. And from the tape that I've been reviewing, it looks like that might be the case. Hicks is somebody we got to get a body on. When number 96 is not in the middle of the line, we run at him. And when he's in there, we run outside of him, and we attack Leonard Floyd. Now, Leonard Floyd is a 3-4 outside linebacker, so he's kind of like what D-Ware used to be in our 3-4 system, and he wears that number 94 just like he used to, and he'll come around that edge really quick, and he'll draw back, and he's very good in pass coverage too. What he's not very good at is to hold up the point of attack at run. So If we see 94, we go at them. That's what I mean. Because if we just play into what their scheme is, what their strengths are, then there's a chance that they can give us some trouble. But if not, if we're smart and we look at who's on the field and run where their weaknesses are at, then there's a good chance we're going to be able to run the ball on this team. Their corners are not too good from what I've seen on the tape. Tracy Porter, Kyle Fuller, there's two starting cornerbacks, and they'll contest for the ball, but they're not anybody that's going to stop Dez or Beasley. And I think we have an advantage there. Their strength is up front. Even with Eddie Goldman, he's another D tackle in the 3-4-D. He'll be missing as well. Even without him, their backup Will Sutton, who was a fan favorite for the Cowboys to draft, he actually looked pretty good in the limited snaps that he got. So it's definitely not going to be a total domination victory. I think people are underestimating the Bears at this point. Their defense is good. Of the 29 points that they got scored on, one of them they gave the ball. The Bears offense gave the ball to the Eagles back on the 2 or 3 yard line after a Jay Cutler interception. And then they fumbled the ball twice at their own 50. Gave them short fields. So really, it wasn't as dominating as it sounded. Their defense is really good. It's much improved from what it was before. So we definitely can't sleep on them. We got to look for the keys and try to get away from their strength, which is 96 in the middle. That's their strength. And then 94, he can come around that corner real quick. And then number 97, Jones, he's going to get pressure. The man has a motor on him. He comes around that edge just as well. And even his backup, Sam Acho, is that, I believe the way that Acho is the way they're pronouncing it. Those guys can come around the edge, so we have to be careful. And in the middle without Trevathan, that was the guy that I was going to say we need to put a pat on him every time. He is a playmaker. He sheds blocks. He's a tough kid. If he's not in there, then Freeman is the person that we want to focus on, number 50. He is their best linebacker without Trevathan in the game, and he's definitely solid. He's better than anything that's on our defense aside from Sean Lee. Some people say that's not much to say, but he is a very good linebacker. That's just some of the things you should look out for in the game and mentally be prepared to what you want to see. And it's fun to think and prepare and then see those things come to fruition in the game time. As far as their offense goes, it's a Loggins offense, and really from what I saw, it's a shotgun, or what you call a pistol, almost every time. When the QB does get under center, there's a couple of things you got to look for. When the QB's under center, they're thinking a bang bang play. It's a slant, it's a hitch, it's a play action play, or it's a reverse coming out of it. When they get under center, it's a dead giveaway that something quick is going to happen. They didn't really get under center to run the ball or to get into a 3-step drop. It was to run some kind of play action, or I would say a gadget play, a quick hitch or a quick screen. So when they're under center, it's a dead giveaway that something is coming that way. That type of play is coming towards our defense. So that's just one of the things that I picked up on just watching the film. Other than that, they're in 2 wide, 2 tight ends, lone back, tailback in the backfield, or I even saw one where they're empty, and it's just 3 receivers, 2 tight ends, 5 receivers. They're out of the shotgun the whole time, so these guys are looking to pass the ball, and their number one target is Alshon Jeffrey. That's the key to this game. Stop Alshon Jeffrey, double him the way teams double Dez, and we're gonna have to make Hoyer make plays, because it looks like Jay Cutler is not going to be playing. He might be out for the season. It's still unknown. And to be honest with you, it's a little bit more scary to see Hoyer on there, because when I started watching the film and Hoyer came in, he had a little bit more poise. He went into his reads, and he wasn't scared to just go into his 8-yard pass, 6-yard pass. He was 8 for 8 at a time until he actually Alshon Jeffrey dropped what I thought was a pretty good pass in the corner of the end zone for a touchdown, and then the pass after that, he bombed it over White and threw the ball into the end zone, into the stands in the end zone. But other than that, he was having a good game. And Hoyer, it's one of those things. If you remember, Colt McCoy came in one game. He was the second string QB for the Redskins and tore us up. And it can be one of those things. So we can't look this over. We have to shut down Jeffrey, and we have to put pressure on their O-line. Their O-line is not weak. It's not something that's just like it was in years past. What happens is that they have problems picking up the blitz. we typically don't blitz. So when it's pretty easy for them to identify who's coming, they do a pretty good job of giving the QB time. Where they had troubles and where Cutler got hit, fumbled, threw interceptions was when the blitz was coming. They couldn't quite figure out who to pick up and who needed to get who, and they got confused. And that actually went back. I went back and watched the Texans game, and that's also the same kind of problem that they were having in the Texans game. They get confused kind of easily. And if I did have to point out a weakness, it's number 7, Massey. He's probably someone that I would say, hey, let's throw our best DN, whoever it is at this point, on that left side, because that's where you might be able to get some one-on-one pressure. But this offense is a pistol offense. If they get under center, it's something like a screen or a hitch, something to look at. They can't pick up the blitz. The receiver, White, really won't make a play for the QB. He'll catch easy passes, but he's not going to go out there and do anything spectacular. Bite my tongue. I hope that he doesn't come on and have some Odell Beckham type of catch on us. But he's nothing special. I would actually be looking at Eddie Royal a little bit more on slants and outs. And he took one to the house. We need to punt away from him. He's a dangerous player. Very quick. And here's my thing to look out for. Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard was somebody that I thought if the Cowboys didn't go with Zeke, I would draft him a little bit later this last draft. He's from Indiana. He ended up getting picked up by the Bears, and after their starting running back Langford had a bad game, he hasn't really been playing as well as he did at the end of last season, and then he fumbled the ball in this last game. And I think I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. This is just I want to go outside of what everyone else is going to be saying, and just a hunch that I have. I think Jordan Howard is going to probably be their starter. And he looked really good. He's averaging 7.3 yards a carry. He can catch the ball. He's a big boy. He doesn't go down on first contact. And that's somebody that we have to, I think, be ready for. Because our run D has been a little bit suspect. And towards the end of the game, when Langford went out and Jordan Howard came in, they started running the ball on the Eagles. Against Cox, against everybody that they had out there. And the Eagles are not an easy team to run on. So we have to be careful. We have to play them right. And just remember that name, Jordan Howard. I think he's wearing number 24 for them. He might end up being the starter. And if you're a fantasy player, you want to pick him up, there's a good chance he's going to get some points on us, unfortunately. But we need to make sure that we contain him to a minimum. That's going to do it for today's show. Actually, if you're in the Los Angeles area, in the city of Whittier, California, join the Southern California Dallas Cowboys Fans Club. They're going to be out there before the game at 5 p.m. on 6511 Greenleaf Avenue at Sage in the city of Whittier, California. It's a very fun group, large group of people meeting up that love nothing but Dallas Cowboys. You're going to swear you were in Texas when you go out there and spend your game with them. That's going to do it for today. Remember, the game is at home, AT&T Stadium, 5:30 Pacific time. That's going to do it for today. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy this game. We're 1-1. Definitely need this game. 2-1 is the way we need to end up, come out of this game. It's going to be a run game that is going to have to carry us through because this is not going to be an easy letdown game. Not going to be an easy letdown game. Hey, thanks for joining me. I'm your host again, Eric Trujillo. Have a great one.